A Tarrant County jury found a former Los Angeles Angels employee guilty of giving pitcher Tyler Skaggs the drugs that led to his overdose death in Southlake. Eric K. now faces life in prison for the two serious drug charges he was convicted for. Fox 4's Lynn Wynn live outside the courthouse tonight in Tarrant County with what was a pretty quick decision by jurors. Lynn.
Yeah, Steve, the jury came back with a verdict in about 3 hours. Kay did not have any visible reaction in the courtroom and was immediately taken into custody.
It's a tragedy. There's no winners in any of this.
Former Angels Communications Director Eric K. found guilty on both counts of conspiring to possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance and distribution of that controlled substance, fentanyl, causing Tyler Skaggs' death.
This is a tragedy all the way around. You know, Eric K. is getting ready to do minimum 20 years in the federal penitentiary, and it goes up from there. And Tyler Skaggs is gone.
In closing arguments Thursday, U.S. attorneys said Eric K. was Tyler Skaggs' drug dealer and called K. a pill pusher, the one person Skaggs texted that night and invited to his hotel room. U.S. attorneys said K. looked at other places like OfferUp for drugs and had customers. During the trial, jurors heard from 5 former Angels players that testified they got oxycodone from K. U.S. attorneys said he intentionally distributed the drugs to Skaggs, knowing they could contain fentanyl, arguing in court it was the defendant. It was Eric K. The evidence doesn't leave room for any other option. There's no evidence of any other sources. But the defense accused U.S. attorneys of misrepresenting evidence and argued there could have been other drug suppliers outside of K, pointing at others K was communicating with about drugs and referring to testimony from Skaggs' drug dealer in California. Defense attorneys also argued Skaggs could have been given the pills somewhere else, in the clubhouse, at the airport, or on the plane. Attorneys for K also telling the jury, Mr. Skaggs didn't deserve what happened to him, but it doesn't mean you aren't responsible for your own actions. Ultimately, in a case that brought widespread attention to painkiller abuse among MLB players, that argument was not enough to convince the jury.
We're obviously disappointed in the verdict. We thought there were many reasons to doubt the government's case.
While K himself had no visible reaction in court, Skaggs' family hugged after the verdict. K was then immediately ordered into custody of the U.S. Marshals as his family looked on. Now, K will be sentenced on June 28th at 10 a.m. His attorneys say an appeal will likely be filed, but that will likely not happen until after sentencing. Steve?